What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Nomads and the Nimble Shadow podcast, trading the high-stress life of first responders for a life of adventure on the road. This podcast is brought to you by Kendra, a retired police officer, and her husband Sean, a retired public safety officer. They've been on the road full-time in their Airstream since August 9th, 2025. Traveling with them is their service dog, Django Aloysius Delicious McJefferson, PhD, the 6th. This special episode is brought to you by their oldest daughter, Emma, and her boyfriend, Andrew. Let's get this thing started.
Welcome back. Another episode of Nomads and Nimble Shadow. The Nimble Shadow, not so nimble.
Lazy Shadow.
Lazy. He's in standby mode, we've decided. In standby. He's ready, just ready to go full force. Push it to the limit. Any point. So we've had a whirlwind of a few weeks. We're finally in one place. Where are we? And what kind of camp?
We are back where we started, essentially. Scotts Valley. We're at the RV park in Scotts Valley. They call it the Santa Cruz Ranch.
Santa Cruz Ranch.
It's just the Scotts Valley Park.
Brought to you by the barking Lhasa Apso next door.
The guard Lhasa Apso. So we went in full circle, counterclockwise, and now we're finally back in Scotts Valley. Our last interview. Our interview before with Matthew was here. So we've been here a couple days.
A few days, yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say we went full circle because we flew and did New England. But we didn't drive the trailer full circle.
No, I never mentioned Maine. No, the outlier of Maine. I'm talking about when we started in Scotts Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Counterclockwise, Oregon, all the way back down.
Okay.
But we did go to the east, the far east. Do you want to talk about that?
The far east. Yeah, neither of us have ever been for the fall colors. I think we already talked about this part. But one of the things that I was thinking about that I wanted to talk about was how PTSD showed up on that trip. Right? It's kind of what we call the dark passenger, sort of like Dexter. There's no homicidal rage usually, but it showed up. It showed its ugly head, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. Tell
us how.
Well, why don't you talk about what you were experiencing?
Okay. We're used to our environment wherever you live. You go to work, you take the same freeways, you go to the same grocery store. And it's not until you're in another place like Iceland, for example, where there's miles and miles and horizon to horizon of nothingness, right? Maybe flat, maybe mountains, but nothingness. And that open expanse of space. And then somewhere in the middle is Maine. You got beautiful trees.
Iceland, but not California.
Beautiful trees and big expansive properties and big winding roads where you can see the horizons and the mountains and the landscape. And there isn't the billboards and there isn't the freeway noise and there isn't the Harley Davidson riders splitting lanes and there isn't the, fill in all the blanks. They just sort of disappear and filter away. And you don't realize how calming that is or how relaxing that is until you're thrown right back into I hate to use the word chaos, but as soon as we hit Northern California and started hitting California roads and traffic and construction and the congestion, it just kept getting more and more congestion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And was tough. And that also showed up when we went to Boston. So we went from Maine, took the train, took Lime scooters. We somehow got from Maine to Boston. And that was a hard transition for me. I think that's why you're bringing this up. It was a hard transition for me to go from quiet to just walking in crowds and sirens, constant sirens and jackhammers. And it was very agitating.
Yeah.
It was not very fun to be around.
Do you think that's normal for everybody, though? Or is that really a byproduct of PTSD?
Oh, I'm sure everybody's like that, unless they thrive in those situations and they,
Where they were just accustomed to it and they live there their whole lives and
yeah,
that's
like the
the
people
noise
that
they're
fall
used
asleep
to?
to New York street noises,
Yeah.
cats and raccoons
Right?
and
Isn't that on
garbage cans and
yeah.
sirens, and who's sleeping to that?
Yeah.
But it's true, it becomes your white noise.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be a good question. We'd have to have someone answer that question. Speaking of which, how do people get a hold of us?
Oh, yes. You created an email address for the podcast, right?
I did.
What is it?
nomadsandnimbleshadow@gmail.com.
Nomads and or the and sign? A-N-D?
And
A-N-D. Nimble
Shadow
Shadow
at
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
So tell us, do you guys experience that too? Or is it a PTSD thing?
How did it affect you, though? It was, a cacophony of noise and chaos and people. And,
Agitated. I was
but
super
yeah,
agitated.
how did that show up in your body? Like, what were you
Tense.
feeling?
Or grimacing, just frustrated. Why do we have to walk here? What are we doing?
Yeah. And then we did a treasure hunt, right? Or a scavenger hunt on top of it.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. We went from nobody around and everything to being closed to crazy
Beautiful fall colors, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful fall colors and like long winding roads and lakes and rivers and just
listening to a book on tape and
it's lovely. And then we get to Boston and you walk outside the hotel and it's just an onslaught.
Yeah.
An onslaught of crazy people talking to themselves and sirens and horns and the horns.
The horns. I love the horns. Let's talk about the horns. You can see ahead of you a couple cars, and you can also see the intersection.
Right.
That person's not going anywhere.
Right.
Why are we honking at that person?
Just to make it worse. Right? Just to make it worse. Although you honked at some little kids at the KOA.
Well, let's also talk about that. Hey, kids, especially tell your parents that if you're going to have a good time at a KOA, I love it. That's fantastic. But number one, your safety is a priority. If you get run over.
Yeah. It's no fun. Not as much fun.
Enjoy the roads, but share them with the big, giant 19,000-pound truck that's pulling a trailer.
Yeah.
And looking for you, but it's like Frogger. There's kids everywhere.
And these kids are so in their own head and they're so maybe not used to having to like prioritize something besides themselves. I don't know. But in this particular case, we come around the corner, there's a bunch of kids on scooters and skateboards and all kinds of stuff in the middle of the road. You stop, they look at you, and then they just stay there. And then more come over and right in front of your truck.
That's right. There's two looking at nothing, not talking. One guy does a U-turn and then just stops in front of my truck. And I was like, listen, you little... So I honk. Not a loud one, just a little bit of like...
This is a pretty good...
I was like, hey, guys, I'm right here.
Yeah.
The parents, you would have thought...
Yeah. Yeah.
You would have thought I took a baseball bat and punched and hit the kids.
The baby. Yeah. Yeah, they looked at you like, what was wrong with you? And you're like, why are you not watching your kids? First of all those parents were sitting over there drinking. None of them is paying attention to what their kids are doing. Nobody's saying, hey, kids, get out of the road, move out of the way of the big truck. And you're the bad guy.
Yeah.
You're the bad guy. So, yeah. Anyway, so the noise, the horns, all of that in Boston, and then we go to the treasure hunt, which was hard.
Super hard.
Scavenger hunt was super hard.
You need to find your way around in Boston. And by the way, side note, Google Maps in Boston, come on, you're killing me.
I think those big, tall buildings cause the signal to bounce.
I know, but there's like Wi-Fi supposed to help. Yeah. For anybody who's navigated on foot with an Apple map, Google Map, Waze, whatever you're trying to do, it really gives you the confidence, and it tells you, I know what we're doing. I know where we're going. I'm going to take you there. So you, as the navigator of the group, are like, I got this, guys. Let's walk 2 blocks. And then I'm going to check the status of what's happening. No, now we're going the wrong direction.
Right.
And it doesn't even know what street you're on.
Right. Yeah, it was really irritating.
We were walking in giant concentric circles.
And you had a broken foot.
Yeah.
You're walking on a broken foot this whole time, which You're really stoic. You don't complain. So I don't know that you're in a lot of pain till later. It's all swollen, or you're like, my foot really hurts. Like while we're walking 8 miles, I don't know that you're in pain.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? We're not going to rent a car in Boston. We would have actually traveled less in that car.
Yeah, probably. You took it with
So the scavenger hunt was awesome. We love escape rooms. For those of you who know us, we love escape rooms. But this scavenger hunt was supposed to be kind of like that, and it was advanced. Advanced.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would have survived without a clue. How would we have gotten that stuff?
Yeah, so it had an interface with an app. So you would scan a QR code on a clue.
Really well done.
Right. And it would like navigate you. It would say, okay, go to Paul Revere Square. And it would give you some sort of little cryptic clue. And you figured out that you needed to use information that's on the plaques that are around Paul Revere Square to figure out the clue. But I don't think there was a single one that we didn't ask for at least one hint.
No. We could find the places, but then once we were there,
mm-hmm.
it was difficult.
It was definitely.
And even to the very end, we solved it. We were good to go. We needed to do one more thing.
Yeah.
That was almost harder than the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I think we needed all three clues.
You needed everything they give you a little box that's taped.
Right.
You needed absolutely everything, including the box.
Yes, that's right. At the end, there's bits of information.
There's stuff in the box on the outside, on the inside.
Yeah.
It was really well done, smart. But if there were no hints, people would give up and throw that box away.
Yeah, you were ready to. You were super annoyed in the very beginning of it. I think because of what we were talking about with the noise and the cacophony. You're just kind of like over it when it was really hard, and it took me forever to get it out of that busy coffee shop. That's when I really started to feel it. Actually, for me, crowded spaces like that, confined spaces where I feel like I can't move, I start to get like panic attacky. Like my heart starts to race. I feel like I'm not going to breathe. And I feel like I'm going to punch somebody. Like I feel like I'm so aggro. And so I just want to leave. And so I was standing in this coffee shop that I had to pick up that box, and people were bumping into me. The waitress is going to the tables, and they're, the bartender or the barista is saying, it's going to be 20 minutes for any bar orders, right? So he's looking at me standing there thinking I'm waiting to order coffee, and he's trying to get me to leave because it's going to be 20 minutes. And I'm overwhelmed. I wanted to get out of there so badly. And I look around and I feel like everybody else seems to be fine with this.
Just fine.
Everybody seems fine with this.
Environment is environment.
Am I the only one that is losing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't take Django in there because it was such a confined space, and you and he were outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the bomb cannolis.
Oh, the cannolis were so good.
And pistachio was my favorite.
You remember the name of the place?
Keys?
I think so. I don't think so.
All right. Talk amongst yourselves.
But
find it.
They were so good. So we had already eaten a cannoli at that corner, like Italian coffee shop that was super hot, and there were all those like mafia guys sitting around. Remember?
It's called Mike's Pastry.
The pastry place was?
Mike's Pastry.
So right next door to Mike's Pastry was this other coffee and cigar place. Or maybe just coffee. But remember those like Italian mafia looking guys that were sitting in that coffee shop?
I mean, they looked like they were off of a movie script.
Yeah.
I mean, a movie set.
Yeah.
They had sunglasses inside.
Yeah.
They had like 1970s slick back hair and sideburns. Definitely in control of the place.
Right.
Like big collars, and all drinking Aperol. They had an Aperol bottle in the middle.
Yeah.
Which is a weird.
Yeah. It's
straight Aperol. Yeah. I mean, that thing's glowing red, number 5.
Yeah.
On ice. And they just kept coming, like just cups of ice and just drinking the Aperol and talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Locals for sure. Let's just go with locals.
Yeah,
locals. One of them might have been Mike.
That was the Italian neighborhood.
I love that neighborhood. I love that food.
Neat neighborhood.
Oh, I have something cool to tell you. Remind you about. When we were doing that scavenger hunt, we were in like Paul Revere Square. Remember the little copper or brass carvings? The little brass statues, the little brass things? Mm-hmm. Well, we walked through that little area, and it's beautiful. A lot of tourists, a lot of tours that were going on there. And then we were looking for a dinner the same night.
Yeah.
We were walking downtown looking for a dinner. Thanks for making me walk another 6 miles for that dinner, by the way. And in that same square, we found a beautiful outdoor eating area for 2 different restaurants. They set up with candles and the Italian,
Yeah.
tablecloths and the napkins, and
Yeah.
that was really cool.
That was cool. I
environment.
think it was not Paul Revere Square. Is it North Square?
I don't know.
It's that triangular shaped
Yeah.
square.
It's
a
right next to-
triangular shaped square.
It's right next to Paul Revere's house.
Yes,
It's
right across from his house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, in the daytime, it's just a square with some art pieces and historical
Yeah.
sculptures, and by night, it's 2 different
Yeah.
Italian restaurants.
I really enjoyed Boston at night.
Yeah.
Not in the daytime. It's just too much.
Yeah. It was
me.
a lot. It was a lot, and you aren't a fan of museums. You didn't want to go into any of the museums. You're like, no, I don't need to see that. No.
I love the Spy Museum.
Yes, that was in DC. So from
I love
Boston
the
to
Holocaust
DC.
Museum.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So it's specific museums you don't like?
No, I don't. I don't want to go through art museums. I think a sculpture of a corkscrew that's 9 times its normal
Especially
size.
modern art, especially.
I don't need to see that. And then cool. I mean, art's beautiful. I can only look at it for so long.
Right.
It's like picking wallpaper for your phone. After the 7th or 8th one, you're like, okay, this one's fine. I'm not gonna look through the whole museum. I remember I had an art history class, and we had to go to the San Francisco. What's the art museum?
Museum of Modern Art.
Okay,
MoMA?
that one.
I don't know.
And we needed to find a painting, and then write.
You had to write a paper.
We had to write a 20-page paper on a painting. 20
Oh my God.
pages.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Handwritten?
I'm pretty sure. And I don't remember. Yeah, I remember struggling. And I wrote a paper based on a painting that was beautiful and big. I needed it to be big with lots of details. You can't just have a couple flowers, right? And write 20 pages about it.
Right.
So this one was very dark, and it was the jungle. And I don't remember what it was called, but it was in the heart of darkness or something. It was very jungly, and there were snakes in the corner, and it was took up the whole wall.
Okay.
I still don't know where I pulled out of my ass 20 pages or whatever it was. How much can you write?
I wish you still had that. That would be interesting to read it.
It was probably terrible. That's what ChatGPT was invented for. Stupid assignments like that.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, right? Some people would love that assignment. Obviously, the professor thinks there's value in that assignment.
I guess.
But for someone who is not interested in art history or art, it doesn't make any sense. That's the thing that I guess I understand the idea of general education and requiring people to take a variety of classes. But at the same time, if I'm going to be an English major, do I really need 3 math classes or however many, right? There's calculators. I'll marry somebody who can do math.
Calculators? I mean, you mean your phone?
On your phone.
Yeah, I mean,
but the app is a calculator. It's calculating for you. Yeah. Or you could just put it into ChatGPT. The square root of blah, blah, blah.
ChatGPT, if you're listening, we appreciate your hard work.
Do you know, I was listening to another podcast today, and they were playing AI music. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Where they took a 50 Cent song and then asked it to redo the song, use the same lyrics, but put it to some sort of I don't know, soul, 1960s soul type of track, and they did, and it sounded really good.
Oh man, I feel bad for the music industry.
Exactly.
Then. Yeah.
It sounded really good. I think it was on Joe Rogan who was playing it. Yeah, for Andrew Schultz. I think they were talking about it, and I was like, "This is AI."
Yeah.
It's so wild. What humans are going to be obsolete?
No, there's stuff that they can't do, but
what?
What can AI do? Catch me a fish so I can eat it.
Sure, they can put up fish traps.
AI can do fish traps.
Advanced intelligent robots or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. All right, that's for another podcast.
Oh, okay.
Robots.
Oh, okay.
Actually, AI can't do podcasts.
I bet it could.
I bet it could too, but ours is.
Person A, I want you to be, here's your parameters, what kind of personality you are, and you can have them debate each other. I bet it could. All right.
It's
terrifying. Could it do plumbing work?
No. Unless you had
Could it do
unless you had your robot.
welding?
Unless you had your robot. Of course it can do welding. It's been making cars for years.
But I mean, that's one thing where everything's like on a line and everything's consistent. You know, you program in
Yeah.
exact parameters, but like welding other things that aren't coming on a manufacturing line, that's different.
I don't know. Maybe soon. If not already.
Okay. But we digress.
Yeah.
Well, people wanted us to talk more about our. Sorry, I have to fill up my water. The people understand that it's important to stay hydrated.
One of us is not getting hydrated for that. The sacrifice.
You could do an ASMR podcast.
Not with your mouth.
Where
Stop
I make
it.
a lot of noises with my mouth. So you were feeling triggered in Boston, in particular.
Yeah, I don't love that word, but yeah, I was feeling agitated.
Okay.
And we figured out why.
What? Why don't you love that word?
Triggered?
Yeah, why?
It's just overused.
Oh.
Everyone says it for everything.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine. I got activated. We'll just switch to activated.
Okay.
I just didn't know why. I was becoming the other version of myself, the angry me, and it took me 12 hours to figure out why. I was just agitated. Let's see this, let's see that, let's walk over here, let's walk over there. My foot hurts and everyone's too loud. No.
Your
Right?
face. I wish that people could see your face right now. You're aggro right now.
Yeah.
And so once you realized what it was, how did you change it? Because you didn't stay in that headspace for the rest of the time.
No, but I did ask for what I wanted, and that was to get out of that space for a while, go to a quiet room. I asked to walk extra. You wanted to keep going, and I said, no, I would like to walk extra and go back to the room and reset. And reset to me means what I used to do as a kid. Go find a bathroom, close the door. It's quiet. You don't have to, talk to anybody or be on. You could just be off for a minute.
Bumped by anybody or be,
You could just be in your space and then go back out there. And that's what I wanted, and it made me feel better.
Yeah.
What about you? But you said you were.
Well, how could I have better supported you in that? Sometimes I know that you're agitated, and I'll ask about it, but I don't feel like maybe you're not fully aware of what's going on yet. But
Yeah.
It's like if I'd have read that, maybe I would have been a little more conscientious about the plans or.
Yeah, you can't always be on the same wavelength. And my wavelength was I didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And
you didn't think you liked Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, oh my God, like we're going to go from Boston to Washington, D.C., which he said he already doesn't like.
Well,
this should be fun.
I'm completely biased on Washington, D.C. because of my 8th grade trip. We were loaded on, we got on a plane at night. It was chaos in the plane, a whole bunch of 8th graders just screwing around, not sleeping. And then we got up and went, I think the next day, and we just did 8th grade, get on a bus and drive to every single thing. And all I remember was cement and people and lines and...
No bathroom for you to hide in.
No, but you just kind of on the whole time and just, it was all cement. And we did see the White House and, we did see a lot of cool stuff. But when you said let's go visit Emma in Washington, D.C., that's my memory of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, I didn't even put it together that people live in houses there. There are houses there. People live somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh. 8th grade, you don't think about that stuff. So when we went back and then we went into this neighborhood,
such quiet.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Reminded me of like Chicago neighborhoods, just like older houses.
Brownstone.
Just the older, what do they call those? The type of houses.
Brownstones?
No.
Colonial style?
Colonial.
There were a lot of
colonial style houses with basements and 4th stories and ready for snow. So that was cool to see all those neighborhoods and walk through the neighborhoods and see all those
and the old
things.
Tree growth on the
Yeah. And the Halloween decorations and I really like this Washington, D.C. And we had to walk for the most part. We only had a car one day. And I loved walking through that stuff to the buses and then to the metro. And the subway.
Yeah. A lot of people we know think we're crazy about the way we travel, like where we won't rent a car and we'll just take we'll take public transportation. It's so interesting to me because I feel like that's where all the experiences come from.
Mm-hmm.
And
especially with phones. You don't have to do it like you used to with getting a bus schedule and getting on there. It's easy. Your phone tells you which buses to take.
Yes. Google Maps.
Yeah.
Google Maps. Pretty amazing. Yeah, and it'll give you more than one option, right?
And it's the best people watching ever.
Oh, such good people watching. For sure.
One guy got on with his dog, killed a bucket of chicken, didn't wipe his hands, didn't wipe his hands on his shirt. He just killed it. It was all over his beard. It was all over the floor. The dog was eating the bones as he was eating. And then he took like the second, like he was only on there for like 2 stops.
Yeah.
And then he got off.
Well, that's how he
It
sat
was like
down
a
to eat
show.
his
Like he
dinner.
got on, killed a bucket of chicken, got off. Oh.
Yeah. And of course, he's sitting right across from Django and I. And so
Mhm.
Django is looking like, hey, that guy's giving
Eating
his dog
chicken.
chicken. Like, lady, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
He was so hyper focused on that chicken. What was interesting is the next bus we got on, Django immediately
Yeah.
looked
That
for the
was
chicken
interesting.
in the seat.
He went right to the chicken spot, even
Yeah.
though it was a different
where
bus.
a chicken had dropped. He'd been watching it,
Mm.
and he went right to it and was like,
Dogs
looking for it.
can remember.
So people think we're crazy for taking public transportation. I feel like on the West Coast, in particular, California, I
Mhm.
guess is my experience of this, and
Mhm.
Nevada too,
Mhm.
is there's this, you look down on people who take buses like it's like only the poor people take buses, right? The others, them, they take buses.
Mhm. And
Everybody
then,
else drives because their
right.
public transportation's
especially
terrible.
cops, because cops associate criminals on buses.
Yeah.
Criminals and,
Yeah.
you know,
And
trouble.
there definitely
calls.
is an element of that.
Oh, for sure. Because you have the mentally ill, you've got the homeless population on there, you've got people that can't have a license because it's suspended for whatever
Mhm.
reason.
Mhm.
You've got people on parole that can't drive. So you have, you know, this funnel that funnels
Mhm.
into public transportation. And in all other countries, like in Europe, and we've been on that kind of stuff before, it's not the case. Everyone takes public transportation everywhere. You'll get those in there. You get that scattering of it, but it's not so
more
concentrated.
normal. Like it's just for everybody, right? Everybody takes the
And it's so much
train.
more efficient. You don't have to own a car. You don't go to Switzerland. The train system is amazing.
I also feel far less stressed because I'm not the one that has to look out for pedestrians. I'm not the one that has to pay attention to the signals and, worry about getting honked at or honked
Driving
at.
on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah. I'm not the one that has to think about any of that. So I feel like there's this mental load that's taken away, even though you might have some unsavory people or scary people nearby. And even though it might take a little longer to get from point A to B sometimes, I still like it quite a bit. I think it's just more living.
It's also more enjoyable that you're saving a lot of money.
Yes.
Renting a car now, $120
A day.
a day.
Yeah.
Plus you got to pay for parking.
Right.
And
Right.
then places like we were in Washington D.C. You needed a permit to even park on the street. We were that for the Airbnb. We didn't have a permit.
Yeah. Yep.
Cost.
Yeah. So as opposed to what it was like $33, I think, for a 3-day pass.
3-day unlimited.
And that was unlimited on all modes of public transportation.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I wish we had that option out here. I wish our public transportation in California was better.
When I think public transportation in our area, I think light rail.
Uh-huh.
Not great. Not a great reputation.
In San Jose?
In San Jose.
Yeah.
And then Greyhound. Not a great reputation.
No.
My mom used to send me to Modesto on a Greyhound.
Really? To see your grandmother?
Yeah. Yeah.
Carol, what were you thinking?
I mean...
How old were you?
I say that now because I'm a parent and I would never do that now. Not now. But maybe Greyhound was a lot more reputable back then.
Maybe.
And my mom's not going to drive me to my grandma's house in Modesto. And she's not necessarily going to drive down. I think I took a Greyhound to go to Camp Jack Hazard too. But yeah, it's you don't know what you don't know. So I wasn't scared. It was a cool bus ride in the dark.
Gotcha.
And then Grandma picked me up. Yeah.
Got you there.
But I mean, take a Greyhound now. I'd be like, did someone poop on this Greyhound seat?
Right. There's probably eyes.
Don't have a baby on this seat.
Exactly. And when was the last time it was clean?
Oh.
At least with an airplane, you know that it's cleaned every night. But I don't know. How well it's cleaned, that might be questionable, but at least there's some attempt to wipe things down every night. But who knows about buses? I wonder if
I think it depends on where we are. Place like Bali or Thailand, I would rent a scooter. It's super cheap. You can find your way around. Everyone drives scooters.
And so dangerous. Though.
I'd much rather ride a scooter in Bali than the bus.
But you would have to admit some people should not be riding scooters. Right? Like that's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of motorcycle experience. And I didn't. I was on the back, but I was so grateful that you had as much experience as you did.
Thanks. It was a lot of fun because it was so crazy.
It was crazy.
Like thousands of mopeds, some going upstream.
Yeah.
Lights. You just went when you went, and it was crazy. The best part of that whole trip, though, we're all over the place now with this podcast, but in Bali, the best day ever was when there was a flash flood, and we were driving.
we were
driving our rented scooters.
Yeah.
And the water was up to our knees.
Yeah. And we don't know if there's a pothole in
We don't know if there's a hole.
Yeah.
We just were between the buildings knowing
Yeah.
there must be a road here somewhere, and we made it back. And the people that were behind me were like, well, we trust you.
Right. They were
But this is probably pretty stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. But that was also Thailand. The very first time we went to Thailand was the first time was it the first time we took a bus? Because that was one of our early trips. First time we took a bus in another country because we had to get from.
Yeah.
We had to get
not with the kids. It was our first trip.
Right.
Yeah.
We had to get from. We had stayed in one part of Thailand, and then we booked this like package adventure tour, like a rope bridge crossing and some other whitewater rafting and something else. And then there was a miscommunication with the front desk, and clarified with them, like just confirming, like when we're done with this tour, we're not going to be that far from our next destination that we need to be at. Can we get there from there? Oh yeah, we'll drop you off there. She misunderstood me or something, but they realized, oh no, we're not driving all the way up there to drop you guys off. So they dropped us off at a bus station,
which was not a bus station. It was a store with a little like they called AM/PM or something. They called it the bus station. It was an open garage with white tile.
Yeah.
And then like a card table with like candy and sundries, and then a person with a little metal box.
Yeah.
And we're like, where's the bus station? And they're like, this is the bus station. You want a ticket? You come to this woman in the box.
No, it was an albino. Remember, it was an albino Thai guy.
Yes.
A Thai guy who had albinism.
Yes.
Which was very unusual. Like where we were, that part of Thailand, there was nobody that had blonde hair, let alone albinism. But he was the guy who was taking the money.
Yeah, for a person who doesn't have a very good memory, you remember that very well.
Some things I remember great.
Yeah, and then so we're kind of just in the middle of nowhere, and this giant, huge
luxury,
air conditioned. It was air conditioned. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
air conditioned bus pulls up, and it's probably the highest end bus I've ever been.
Yeah.
It was like a tour bus for rock stars.
Yeah.
And wasn't there like a creepy guy up here, like a creepy? You thought he was a crook or something, like hiding from the land, like from.
Yeah, there was somebody on there that I was wary of.
And we had like a 2.5 hour or 3 hour trip, and that was bomb.
Yeah.
And cheap.
And so cheap. Yeah. Probably $1 or $2, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing.
So you can figure it out, especially now in this day and age. Yeah.
And the tuk-tuks, that was another fun form of public transportation. Those little tuk-tuks, which are little tiny vehicles, loud little trucks.
Motorcycles.
Oh, yeah. The motorcycle ones. I'm thinking of the other one that kind of had the open back that took us to the elephant sanctuary with the wooden seats. Yeah. So there's both of those types, but the little motorcycle.
Aren't the ones in the water called tuk-tuks too?
Oh, I don't remember. No, I think tuk-tuks are just the ones on the road.
All right. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, maybe tuk-tuk means like a ride or mode of transportation. I don't know. I just remember the wheeled ones. That was kind of wild and crazy. You go from being like in this regimented, rules of the road, and there will be law enforcement around the corner, and you better not stop. You better stop before
you cross the limit line.
And then you go there, and there's road suggestions, maybe. Like people drive on the sidewalk just to get around.
Absolutely.
It's chaos.
Your mouth is wide open. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. But it works.
Yeah, we didn't see any crashes.
It works. I'm sure there are crashes for sure.
Sure.
But
it works.
For whatever reason, it works.
Here's my theory about why it works. Some people are wearing helmets, but not everybody's wearing helmets on those things. There's all of these motor scooters on the road. The consequences of making a mistake are pretty dire. So I think people are paying close attention, but they're also used to just sort of like weaving in and out like a school of fish.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. And
then you got the whole family on one scooter.
Yeah.
You got dad driving,
Mhm.
mom holding two babies, little babies, and then toddlers hanging on the front and the back.
Yeah.
And then someone's holding the groceries while you
Right.
ride. That would never fly. Like,
No.
you drive down Willow Street and you see that, oh man, everyone's going, you're going to take it for that,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
We got to save those babies.
But you can see how if someone goes from a country like that,
Mhm.
where that's the exposure you have to driving, and those are the rules of the quote unquote rules of the road or the culture on the road, and then you move to the United States, how overwhelming must that be to now all of a sudden you've got to follow all of these very specific rules,
Mhm.
and I would imagine that's hard.
Mhm.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Not so hard to adapt to no rules. We just adapted to no rules. We're just like, okay, I guess we're we're just blending in. We're assimilating to this culture, but
Yeah.
that'd be hard to go to someplace more strict and regimented, like Switzerland. Like when you got on
Oh.
that wrong train in Switzerland.
That system works. They have got it down.
Yeah.
You get fined for absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And there's no gray area. And that's okay. The citizens know, I'm not going to get a break today. I made a mistake. It's kind of refreshing, like there's a black and white. Like,
Yeah, there's no argument.
I screwed up.
That's the rule.
I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what the fine's going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I probably talked about this. If I didn't, we were talking about public transportation. You had just left, and I was in Switzerland for one more day by myself. Or were you doing something?
I feel like I was doing something because we met up later
Yeah.
that day.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was.
Switzerland train systems, amazing. The boards just to see what train you're supposed to be on is humongous. It's huge. It's like watching an IMAX movie. Like, where's the... And there's 7 layers, 7 levels of trains going in different directions. So what you do is your phone helps a lot. Google Maps will help you. It'll tell you exactly what train and what platform to be on. Platform is important because there are so many platforms. So I had 4 minutes to make it to platform 34 at a certain time so I could catch a train from wherever we were to Zurich. And
were we in Luzern? No.
Luzern to Zurich. I get to my platform on time. I realize that the time above when you're catching your train is when it leaves, not when it arrives.
Oh.
It's gone then. That's when it's leaving.
Yeah.
So I screwed that up. I looked in the next train that's going to come in like 6 minutes to the same station, to the same platform, went to the same place. So I paid $6 for a ticket one way. I missed my train. The other train gets there. I get on it. I'm sitting there. And of course, the very polite, straight-faced ticket people come up and ask me for my ticket. She looks at it and she says, "You're on the wrong train." And I said, "Yes. Here I am, American. Yes, I missed my train. And it's the same cost. I'm just on this train to go to this one." And she's like, "Okay, here's a $37 ticket." Like, there wasn't any like, "I'm sorry, it must be confusing," or like, no, here's this.
Here's your fine.
Okay. And then on this card that you use to pay for this ticket is an additional $37 for your fine.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I wasn't allowed to just jump off and be like, "I got a ticket for it. Now I can go wherever I want." No, that was for that violation at that time.
Yeah.
I better get off on my stop. That's the other thing too. If you missed your stop, like you look up and you're like, "Oh my God, I missed my stop," you could get fined for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything like, yeah. But they have the lowest crime rate. It's the most wealthy country.
That's all right. Your biggest fan is going to check you on it. Yeah. You better get your stats right. We've all learned just that when you tell a story, especially, you exaggerate or you just to make it a little more exciting. So I don't listen to you and assume that everything you're telling me is factual and correct.
We need a Jamie. Jamie, pull it up. Jamie, pull it up. Am I right, Jamie? Is it?
We need Andrew or Emma to be our like remote Jamie. Fact check us.
The cleanest.
Yeah. It is very clean, very, very well organized. I don't remember if it was Switzerland or not. It was probably one of those other countries in that area, in that region, that did a thing of, now I'm going to forget.
Okay. The great thing is we're back. Kendra just had a stroke. We're back, and I just fact-checked my stuff. Switzerland is one of the richest countries by citizen.
Yeah.
And it's one of the safest cities in Europe with the lowest crime rate.
I like it.
So don't text me, Matthew. I'm already checked it. All right.
Okay. Stockholm, Sweden, not Switzerland. A camera was set up to photograph both speeding drivers and those who stayed within the speed limit. Drivers who obeyed the speed limit were entered into a lottery to win cash prizes. The prize money for the lottery was taken from the fines paid by the speeding drivers. I love that. And the 3-day trial, they just did it for 3 days, was successful, resulting in a significant drop in the average speed of traffic.
Awesome.
Brilliant, right? It's like a
Brilliant.
positive incentive to like be paying attention and go the speed limit. Other countries, the United States is great. Like we've been leaders in many ways, but I feel in some ways we're kind of brainwashed to believe like we're the best of the best. There are countries out there doing some amazing.
You mean like Denmark
things.
and the buses?
Yes. Denmark is using old buses, converting them into mobile grocery stores and taking them into villages for older people who have trouble getting around. What a beautiful idea.
Wonderful.
Yeah. You gain so much by traveling. Don't you think? You gain so much perspective and like you just learn that everywhere that you go, people are people trying to accomplish the same things. They want to have a healthy, happy family. They want to be able to have a place to call home. Want to be able to put food on the table, right? They want to experience joy. This is consistent everywhere. It's just in different ways of doing it. It's cool.
Yeah.
And if you never leave the country, you never get to experience that. And I think that's sad. Yeah.
And I don't think they do keeping up with the Joneses there. Do you think they do that? If one Switzerland neighbor gets a Range Rover, that guy has to get a Range Rover now?
I don't know. I don't know enough about their political system or their economy to know. But I know
the fines are based on your income. Your identification is based on your income. So if you get a ticket for speeding and I'm making $1 million a year, it's a very high fine compared to someone who makes $20,000 a year.
Yeah, that seems more fair. Because if you do it the way we do it, which is the fine is, $575 or whatever for driving in the carpool lane.
Yeah.
And
I'm not going to make my rent now.
Yeah, you give that ticket to somebody who's barely.
San Francisco is doing a trial program that does that.
Okay.
Yeah. And people are complaining about it, but it makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. It does make sense. I can absorb a hit like that, but our kids couldn't. Our kids could not. That would be like a month's groceries.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
The whole
I got
concept of like, tickets. Well, just work harder, right? Just work harder. That works to some degree.
You could fill your whole day up with working and you're just not going to make enough.
No.
Yeah.
I was talking to this guy in the hot tub today. We're at an RV park. So he's here visiting his parents who are also in this RV park. They're also retired. And this guy lives in Reno. He said, when I came from poor beginnings and I had to pay my way through school and I wanted to get this degree. I worked 3 jobs. He said, I couldn't focus on school. He's like, I didn't do well. I ended up having to leave because I had to work 3 jobs to pay the tuition.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have done that. But a guy like that, he's working 3 jobs and going to school. How's he going to get a leg up? He's not. He's like, here I am, 10 years later and I'm still living in a studio and I have no savings and
yeah.
He's never, according to him, he's never not been employed.
We need free education.
Yeah. Yeah. And a fix to how we do taxes and fines and that stuff.
Yeah.
Make it more fair.
If you're listening, please employ our children.
Yeah, we have kids.
They're all going to have degrees soon and they need a job.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think it's so hard to think about starting out in life.
Yeah.
With the economy the way it is.
But doesn't it bring you right back there of like that being that age? I remember being probably a junior in college at Fresno and like, I know what I'm interested in, but what am I going to do? What's going to happen? What am I going to do? Because there wasn't any like, well, if I don't do okay, grandma's going to kick back some dough. My family didn't have any money like that. So there wasn't really any net out for me if I didn't make it. I kind of had to make it.
Yeah, I mean, you could have always come.
Of course.
With your mom. Yeah, that kind of net. Imagine not even having that.
Yeah, totally true.
Some people don't even have that.
Super true. Yeah, my mom had a townhouse, and I could live there.
And she does fine. She's done well with her money. Mm-hmm. She's made good decisions. She's been wise about it, and she's a pension from being a teacher. So, You know, when you think like you didn't come from any money, there are so many people who had way, way less than you or me.
Yeah.
And we still are like, you know, rise above it. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Like, well, wait a minute. I don't even have boots, right?
I know, easy for us, but we're only our own little world. Do your best. We have 15 minutes left, so we were going to talk about the Airstream as our safe space. How is it basically coming from a giant space to now feeling content and safe in this crowded, cramped, not so much storage area?
Yeah, I missed it when we were traveling in, you know, hotel rooms. I missed it, and we stayed in that Airbnb and we had more space, but I missed, I don't know, I know where everything is. I know.
Yeah, you do. I know about 10% of what's where. I need to know where a paperclip was today, and I figured out that there was an office supply section I've never seen.
You're welcome.
Office supplies we haven't used at all.
You used it today. I used the tape yesterday.
All right, keep going.
You can't throw something like that out there and then just like, okay, let's just move on past it. Anyway, I feel really content and comfortable and cozy in here. Simple. Don't have a lot of stuff.
I love that. I want to get rid of more stuff. I had way too much stuff on the trip.
Yeah, you brought way too much.
And now, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Well, we've got it. We're just now settled in. We're happy in this space that we're in. And we're going to take a big plunge or take a chance and sell this Airstream in hopes that the Wonder Box is going to work out. So our stuff's going into storage. The office supplies we just talked about, storage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also getting rid of some stuff, and we're going to be down to just a house in Costa Rica, guys.
Exactly.
Not like
reminding because we haven't been there
right
very much. I needed reminding earlier that like that's our home base.
Yeah.
You know, we've always got that. It's paid for. You know, we paid for it free and clear, so we just have to minor cost to maintain it every month. So we can always go there. Super cheap property taxes. I saw the property tax statement for the house that we just sold in Felton. $1,000-something a year. It was $1,400 for a house, probably bigger house, or at least the same size, with a pool and property in a gated community
and better roads.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a stretch to say Costa Rica has better roads. I want you to remind you what it's like to drive there. Do you remember going down the streets in Atenas? So it's like all of a sudden, okay, you're driving down the street. It's a one-way street. You're going northbound one way. And then, but the last block, there are people that just turn southbound on the street. You just have to know that last block becomes a two-way street. Just the last block. There's no signage or anything. It's like that everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But somehow it works. And you just slow down. Don't you notice like nobody's going 50 miles an hour.
No.
You're going 35 miles an hour. And you're just expecting like, I'm just going to go slowly because there's going to be an unexpected speed hump in front of me, or an unexpected pothole,
or a chicken,
an unexpected livestock in the road, sloth in the road, whatever. Yeah. Super interesting.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting is how quickly I adapt to that. I don't adapt that quickly going from like Maine to the chaos of driving in California as easily as I go from Maine to the chaos of driving in Atenas, because I think I just, my whole mindset shifts. I know like I'm coming into another country with a different culture and different rules and expectations. And for some reason, I just go, okay, this is what we're doing. Pura vida, right? I can't stress about this because I have no control over it. You don't see people honking at each other angrily.
No. And the vehicle code sections, there are none for the. If your lights don't work, no problem. If you have 4 different tires, no problem.
Unsafe
no
load.
Bumper, no seatbelts, no seats.
No problem. Cattle standing in the back of the bed of your pickup truck
with your kids.
Things we've actually seen, right?
Yeah. We were driving the kids to the airport at night, And a lot of the heavy suggestions are do not drive at night in Costa Rica
Yeah.
because most people's lights don't work. There are no street lights in some cases. Sketchy.
Yeah, you don't have like reflector paint,
Yeah.
you know.
Or reflectors on the cars. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So we were driving, and I remember being in like the number 2 lane, like heading toward the airport, and I noticed that the car in front of me, and the lane next to me, that the left tire in the back started to move out a little bit. And my brain was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, he's gonna lose his tire. And then I think I said that out loud. And then I went to the number 1 lane, and sure enough, his tire just came off and
like
rolled
bouncing,
away.
right? Yeah.
And then it was all sparks, and you drove down, and it was like, oh, I'm glad I saw that.
How does that happen?
happening.
Somebody loosened his lug nuts, maybe.
Someone loosened his lug nuts. No, it's called maintenance. You rotate your tires, you get your stuff checked. I torque the wheels.
Right.
It's not
right,
happening. Your
right.
wheels just vibrate loose. What was
But
the wrong?
why all of them on that one thing?
He was probably down to 1. Like, I'm
Yeah.
hanging on.
Yeah, stuff like that's to be expected. To be expected, right? Just completely different culture. But who are we to go there and tell them?
No, I'm not.
I need you to do it the way we do
There
it in
isn't any
California.
judgment. I'm just letting the listeners
didn't
know
say
that
you were.
when you go to Costa Rica or another country, you kind of got to feel it out. Like, how's the driving in this one?
You got to go with the flow. Yeah, you got to feel it out. You got to go with the flow, but also, and I wasn't suggesting you were judging them. What I was just saying is like, for tourists in general, when you're traveling, something to keep in mind. We are conditioned to think that we like have the best systems here or whatever, but it works for them. They don't necessarily need to do it the same way we do it.
Yeah.
I remember that Thailand was when I really kind of had that kind of aha moment of both. Like, we're really hard on people who come here from those countries and can't assimilate to the driving, and how scary must that be? Some folks, rode bicycles. I was thinking of a Vietnamese dispatcher we had, and she said, think about like, I didn't ever even consider driving a car until I moved to the United States because we got around on bicycles everywhere. So of course I'm not going to be a great driver. Super interesting. Or even we saw that people we were hiring police officers from the East Coast, from New York, who didn't have driver's licenses, and
they failed in driving all the time.
They didn't do well in driving.
Yeah. And if they did get through, if a lot of crashes, and if they got through the cone patterns and got into the street, any stress you add to that, you try to learn how to drive as an adult, and then you're under stress, the fine motor skills go away, you're gonna get hurt or hurt somebody. That kind of has to be a muscle memory by then.
Yeah. Takes years to become a good driver.
Yeah.
But they didn't have bad habits to unlearn.
Sure.
You could teach them shuffle steering from the beginning, as opposed to like the people who like loop their wrist underneath the top of the steering wheel. Thinking of one of our children in particular who grabs it with an underhand at the top and just sort of like spins it around. I'm like, well, that works now, but wait until you're, having to avoid something in an emergency. Children, shuffle steering, my goodness. We tried to teach them shuffle steering.
Emma's aware of it. I don't remember.
I tried to teach her. I don't think.
But when you go into like a racetrack or something, it's really helpful too.
Well, as one does.
Well, like,
goes to racetrack.
Well, I'm talking about my son who plays the driving video games. When you need to turn in a manner like that, the shuffle steering, if you already know it, it really just comes into play.
But he doesn't use it.
No.
When we're driving? No.
No.
I don't think any of our kids really are using the shuffle steering. This episode brought to you by Django's Restlessness.
All right. So tomorrow you're going to be in San Diego.
I'm going to San Diego to see my parents. San Diego.
So we might be coming back at you guys on.
Oh, we're not going to do anything Saturday or Sunday? We'll be busy.
Be somewhere.
Yeah. Plans. Big plans.
All right. Costa Rica in like a week and a half, everybody.
Exciting. All right. And we would love it if you liked and subscribed to our podcast. And we would love it if you send us any feedback you have, or suggestions, questions you'd like us to answer, things you'd like to talk about. Not so much complaints. We know that the quality could be better. We don't have a studio. We know that our microphones for the first, 15 episodes were terrible, and now we have better equipment. We're working on it. We know that we didn't have any structure in the beginning, and I'm not sure that's getting any better. Are we going for? I feel like
I know two people with ADD have structure.
Right. I mean, the Seinfeld concept worked, right? It was just a show about nothing. You could steal it from Seinfeld. Joe Rogan, just bring somebody on and start talking to him. I don't ever feel like his is scripted or structured. So, not like I want to be like Joe Rogan, but I enjoy listening to podcasts.
All right, this rant brought to you by. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Bye.
Love you.